Welcome, one and all, to Mason's Kingdom.
Welcome to Mason Dodd Hate Week.
I can't get any worse.
Sammy is the luckiest mother effer of all time. Like, are you kidding me?
But now is where the season really begins.
The first 3 weeks are in the books. The rivalry's out of the way. We are into the meat of the schedule. We got one guy who's 0-3 in this league who is down tremendously, and the Kermit memes coming out every single week. We got another guy who's wearing a king outfit, testing the fantasy gods like he's never played fantasy football before. But let's get into the first matchup of the week, and this one is the biggest discrepancy in projection. 62% Sleeper has Sal winning this matchup over Nathan. He is projected for nearly 20 points more than what Nathan is currently projected for, and it makes sense. Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor took me out back and put me down like I was a rabid animal, and McCaffrey didn't even score a touchdown. That's how dominant this running back duo has been for Sal here. So this is a interesting matchup. We got one underperforming team versus one team that has two absolute monsters on it. I would expect Sal to take this one down. If I had to set betting odds for this, we'd be looking at a -250 for Sal Vetri to take down Nathan. Nathan, nice odds, +250, has a chance to really be an upset pick for us.
All right, it is now week 4 in the Flock League. I'm taking on Nathan. I am 2-1 with the most points in the league and the arguably probably two best players in fantasy football right now. So because of that, I'm once again projected for the most points in the league. Because of that, I am projected to win, a 62% chance, the best in the league. Apparently, Bush made me a -250 favorite. I think that's pretty extreme. Now, if you recall last year, we used the bug spray. We bought the bug spray. We defeated Nathan. It was a big reason why. This year, though, I need an entire pest control unit because this dude's team is absolutely disgusting. It's just crawling with creepy crawlers. Caleb Johnson in the 6th round, never going to see his lineup. Quinshon Judkins in the 5th round, still to this day to me is a disgusting pick. I don't care if Quinshon Judkins had 95 yards last week. Justin Jefferson, your 1st round pick. Nathan got on right after he drafted. He got so giddy. He looked like, I don't even know, you can say a fat kid at a pizzeria. He wrote a note before week 1. Remember that note he did the voiceover? I couldn't believe that was Nathan. So high-pitched voice of thank you for letting me get JJ. And now where are you at? Justin Jefferson, you're hoping gets you 10 fantasy points a week with Carson Wentz. Yeah, I need a whole pest control unit to take down Nathan. It shouldn't be that difficult. They're a dime a dozen to find these pest control units right now. I feel good about my chances of winning. I do agree that I'm the biggest favorite in this for this week because I'm the best team in this league.
Derrick Henry and Quinshon Judkins. I'm looking at you two. We're going up against what is perceived to be, and honestly, definitely, for sure, probably is, the best running back room in the entire league. You're going up against Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey. Everyone thinks that you two are going to get schooled. This is my challenge to you this week. Will you meet or outproduce Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor? Will you show the entire league that you are the best running back duo in the Flock League?
We're going to be moving on to the next matchup, which is going to be between Bedocki, the only 0-3 team in this league, a situation you never want to be in fantasy football, and Thomas, who admittedly is a softer 2-1 team than you'd maybe like to be. This one could go either way, man. You got Bedocki's got a better team than I think an 0-3 record would indicate, but his players are underperforming, and Thomas has a bunch of buy low candidates on him. I'm pretty sure Danny's been messaging him all day. If I had to put one down on this one, I think we're setting this one at Bedocki, the surprising upset favorite, at -150 to Thomas's +150. Bedocki would be my selection of who wins that one.
Look, I'm not confident this week. I'm 0-3. If I drop down to 0-4, I mean, I can't get any worse. I'm starting Trey Benson. Why? Because I've been trying to wheel him and deal him all week. Nobody wants to buy him. Look, at the moment, I'm going against Thomas. Am I going to win? I don't know. He's playing Kyler Murray. Just give me 10 points. 10, 12, a little bit of something. Please, God, I just need something.
Another creator on creator matchup, we have myself versus Zack. Zack is currently favored 57% chance of getting it done versus myself, Team UNCK, looking at a 43% chance. Both of us, when I look at this matchup down the pike here, it's my quarterback's better than his, but he's got a better running back core by a country mile. And then the wide receiver cores, man, it's Puka Nacua and it's everybody else, whereas mine's a little bit more balanced. This is going to be a tough one, man. I do think this is a must-win matchup for me, because when you look at my schedule coming up, I have no Bijan next week against Avery. That could be a loss. I have no Lamar and no Flowers in week 7 against Sammy the Fan. That could be a loss. So I need to win this week. I would set this one probably at a +125 for me and a -125 for Zack. This is an important matchup. It's a must-win game. Ladd McConkey, I'm talking to you. put your second round on the table, your second round draft capital that I spent on you, and actually show up and do something that benefits this team. Stop getting out targeted by 33-year-old Keenan Allen and out big played by a guy who couldn't catch a cold a calendar year ago.
They say fantasy football is a love-hate relationship. All I've gotten in the last couple weeks is hate. Lost on Monday Night Football a week ago. This week, we have Bo Nix on Monday Night Football. And I just know I'm going to need something stupid to beat Bush. I know I'm going to need 12 points. And Bo Nix won't do it for me. I have not watched any football this week on purpose. I have not watched any podcasts this week on purpose. Right now, I don't love football. So I realized I was in this bad headspace and I said, Zach, you need to do something about this. So I needed to ask myself, you know what, Zach, what are you grateful for? Number one on that list for me, my wife. Look at my chair. King of the castle. King of the castle. Number two, what am I grateful for? My family and friends. They're a great support system. Number three, what am I grateful for? The Oklahoma City Thunder. At least they got me. Even though I'm a disappointment and I don't live up to expectations, they live up to expectations. How about number four? Can't forget the basics. Thank God I can breathe. Let's try it all together. Gotta love that oxygen. Number five, shout out to Fantasyland. Love you guys. At number six, how about Chick-fil-A? Just wholesome values. You can get it on every day outside of Sunday. On Sunday, you're forced to be with your family. Chick-fil-A. And number seven, how about Puka Nacua? I know every player on my team can let me down, but Puka Nacua, every week, I can rely on you, buddy.
And the other matchup this week that looks like it's going to be a wide discrepancy is actually Nick the Editor versus Danny. And 60% chance that Nick the Editor takes it down. Of course, Danny had a rough week. Not a great situation for Danny here. He is down some pieces, dealing with some injuries, and Nick the Editor's team is starting to come into form. I do think if I was setting that one, because Nick's an editor and not a creator, I'll vouch for my co-host a little bit here. Let's go with a -175.
Week 4 in the Flock League, and we have Editor Nick on the docket next. We are currently in 3rd place in this league. But of course, the big elephant in the room, the injury to Cedarian Lamb. And I mean, shout out Nick, what a nice guy. I'm sure he's also grieving the CeeDee Lamb injury as well, even though he's playing me this week. We are going to be without both the Cowboys wide receiver 1 as well as Team Lads wide receiver 1 this week.
This week, I played the Ladster. And if you know anything about the Ladster, you know he loves CeeDee Lamb. No CeeDee Lamb this week, and honestly, that helps me a ton. I'm currently 1-2, looking to go 2-2 because we need, and I mean we need to make it to 3-3 for when Rashee Rice comes back, and then I will have an absolute dominant team heading into week 7. But right now for week 4, let's go get this W.
My official new captain, the placeholder with CeeDee Lamb now on IR. To me, the captain on the field deservedly goes to Roman Adunze. Team Lad, we're resilient. We're a full team effort. We're 3rd place in this league for a reason. All respect to Nick. It's going to be quite the battle, you know, battle of the Canadians. I'm on the East Coast. He's on the West Coast, man. In Canadian style, I wish you the best of luck, brother, and may the best man win.
Now let's move to the 2 closest matchups of the week, and that would be Avery going up against the Devs. 51% chance the Devs win, 49% chance that Avery wins according to the projections here. We need a big performance out of the Devs yet again because they're up to their regular Joe shit. They pick up Trey Tucker, they're throwing him right into the lineup, and Avery's team quietly getting a lot better. Devontae Smith, big bounce back. Michael Pittman, nice week. Amari Hampton with a big bounce back week. I'm rooting for Avery here. I'm going to set this one at even money. This is -110, -110 because the house needs a cut, of course. This one could go either way. Hopefully Avery takes down the Devs because we can't be getting embarrassed out here.
Fresh off of our first win of the season, and we have the Dev team this week. Now, a lot of people look at the Devs and are like, oh, they're just the Devs, you know. The Dev team has really stepped it up this year, and actually they have a really good team. Right now, our matchup is projected within a point, which means tonight is quite important because tonight we start our matchup with Jackson Smith and Jigba playing for the Dev team. I'm not taking this Dev team lightly. I love the Devs. They're some of the best people, and they put together a pretty good team this year. So respect to the Devs, but Zero Dark Avery, we're going to keep it rolling here, I think.
Mason versus the newest Flock employee here. We got Mason Dodd taking on Sammy Stacks, another Basic coin flip, 49% chance Mason wins, 51% chance Sammy Stacks wins. He has a lot of depth, so he was able to handle that James Conner injury. He's been able to handle Mike Evans being downgraded to doubtful for this game, and he's been able to handle George Kittle being on IR. So you love to see that resilience from the fan. You also hate to see Mason wearing a King outfit, being the biggest cornball on earth, but he deserves it. He's 3-0. He's got a really good running back core. As much as it pains me to say, Mason's got a good team, and he's 3-0, and he deserves to be gloating right now. But the King uniform needs to stop, and it's going to stop this week. So we're setting this one minus 120 for the fan, plus 110 for Mason.
Ladies and gentlemen, hardcore fans of the fan wagon, welcome to Mason Dodd Hate Week. First 3 weeks, it was a little bit of a warm-up, but now is where the season really begins. And so, in true Nepo baby fashion, I've copied Zack and Bedocki, and I've purchased a whiteboard. But for Mason Dodd Hate Week, there's a few things we need to do. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to get in his head. All right, we need to get in Mason Dodd's head. It shouldn't be difficult, okay? That thing is enormous. And so what I'm going to do, all right, I'm gonna strike fear. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do that. He's live right now, as you can see. We're gonna submit a start-sit question. We have it loaded up right here, okay? I'd hate to be playing me this week. Okay, we're gonna check out there, and we'll get back to you with what he says.
So let's go ahead and let's check this out for Sammy Stacks. So this is, if y'all don't know, Sammy Stacks is an embarrassment to fantasy football. Like, truly, truly dumpster fire. Worst training staff I've ever seen.
The second thing we need to do this week, all right? We need to butter him up. After we scare him, okay, then we're gonna lure him into a false sense of security. Okay, make him feel comfortable, right? We're gonna send him some flowers. And the final thing that we're gonna do, end his reign. The self-proclaimed king of this league. We cannot have the most obnoxious person in the league also win it. That can't happen. So if Mason's the king, what am I? I'm the king's slayer. Not just for me, not just for the fans, but for every other member of this league. So we just can stop listening to this garbage, and he can take that stupid crown off his head.
Welcome, one and all, to Mason's Kingdom. Yes, I rule the land here. I am currently #1 in the league standings, #1 in your hearts as well. And not only am I 3-0, not only has nobody come close to beating me yet, but it's just gotten easier this week, right? First 3 weeks, I have to go up against a couple creators. I mean, maybe you say, oh, Sal's a tough matchup. He wasn't for me. Maybe you say, oh, Avery's good now that he has Amari and Hampton. Well, Amari and Hampton wasn't good against me. Hashtag good defense. This week, I get a break. I don't have to play a creator. We get to play once fan, then turned independent contractor, Sammy, head of customer support. And if we are looking at Sammy's team, maybe once upon a time it was good. But y'all need to remember, I have my ghouls. And what did I task my ghouls with this past week? Did I tell them, hey, take out Justin Jefferson. We really need help winning against Nathan? Of course not. I'm undefeated against Nathan. I'm beaten 3 times, lost 0. I went, you know what? Let's look ahead to week 4. Let's take out Sammy's team. So going into week 4, undefeated, playing a hobbled fan. So it only gets easier from here.
Mason, man, I'm telling you. I know you just make fantasy content. You don't really play. You're kind of a fraud in that regard. This is the first league you've actually played in. Brother, when you're talking about putting people on IR, when you're talking about being the king of the league, the fantasy gods have a way of cracking you down at the knees and making you beg for forgiveness. This shtick of being a whole cornball king of the league thing, I'm telling you, it's going to result in something sketchy. And right now, I'm going to knock on wood for even calling this out. But Mason, you are walking a fine line here.
Corey, the tone you take with your king is inexcusable. I swear to God, you are on thin ice, pal. One more remark like this, you're going straight to the gallows. You're lucky we don't have you there already. But I'm going to put you in that little wooden stockhold thing. Your arms are going to be through it. Your head's going to be through it. Honestly, we may invite the fans to throw tomatoes at you. We may live stream it on YouTube. So you better learn how to respect your king. You better learn how to bend the knee to the owner that's 12-5 so far this year and clearly demonstrating that he is the best fantasy football player in this league.
Alrighty, so outside of my matchup this week, I'm paying very close attention to Mason versus the fan. Now, I'm always rooting against Mason for obvious reasons, like many of you are, But this week, I'm going even harder against Mason because if the fan, Sammy, is able to knock off Mason, I take over sole possession of first place when I defeat Nathan and have the most points in the league and move to 3-1. Now, Sammy is right now a slight favorite despite losing James Conner, despite losing Mike Evans, despite still not having George Kittle. Sammy has done really well in terms of drafting for depth on his team. I'm going to be rooting hard for Sammy this week. I think that is the most important matchup. A lot on the line early in the season in that matchup.
So let's go game by game here. And y'all want to start it off with Avery versus the dev team. It's actually the closest spread that we have of the week. Half-point spread, Avery favored just slightly.
Dev team starting Trey Tucker, so that means he's repeating last week, right?
Yeah, if Joe made the decision, then yes.
Like Joe's setting the lineup. So.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified of the guys they're starting, man. It's nerve-wracking.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go Avery here. I think Avery covers as well. I mean, after Amari and Hampton looks good, team's not bad.
Is this the first time you've started, QJ, by the way?
Yeah, it is.
So, like 3 points are incoming?
Yeah,
for sure.
That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
I'll go Team Avery here, though.
Yeah, I got to go Team Avery. He does not have Trey Tucker in his lineup, so.
I'm going to go with Avery because I think A.J. Brown's back to being buns. So
I will. I'm going to take the dev team with the points.
Thank you, Sammy.
Yeah, look, I'll go Avery as well. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to be as bad, and Omarion is playing my Giants, so.
I'll go Devs because everyone's going Avery. I want to stand out. I want to be different.
I would say it's a 50-50 on paper. That's better odds than you usually give Joe on paper. Sometimes you can give Joe 20% on paper and he comes out victorious. I think the coaching staff matters here, and I do go with the dev team.
That is true. Coaching staff does have an advantage to the dev team. Next matchup, the Young Bug versus Sal. I think if you look at the power rankings on the site, I think Sal has the best team in this league. At the moment, Sal's favored by 19 points. I don't know if this is the largest spread on the week. Sal has to win this because his running backs, but I'm going to take the spread, Nathan plus 19. Sal to win, Nathan to cover.
I think Baker's going to have a down week against the Eagles defense, so I will take Sal to both cover and win.
I don't know. I feel like the projections are a little bit skewed here. I don't think this really is a 19-point difference here. I'm going Nathan to cover for sure. I'm actually going to take Nathan to win. I think Nathan pulls off the upset in this one. I think Sal loses.
No, I'm going Sal, money line, and spread.
I'm also going to go with Sal, money line, and spread. I think CMC is finally going to get a rushing touchdown. So
I'm going to take the bug with the points. You know what? I'm with Avery. I think that Sal's running backs can't carry him forever. There's going to be a week where it doesn't happen, and this is the week.
I'm there as well. Quinshon Judkins is the truth. I'll take him to win and cover.
Hard to bet against Bug when he took Judkins in the 5th, and it's actually the best pick of the fantasy draft so far. But again, I just go back to the girth of Sal. Sal's girth with those running backs.
That's a load.
Too much girth, so I'm going to go Sal.
So Sal Nathan here. I got the script. It's going to come down. Sal up 32 points going into Monday Night Football. Garrett Wilson gets 27. Final drive. Jets are driving down the field. Justin Fields interception. I'm going Sal, but I'm going Nathan to cover.
I think it's poetic that he has Garrett Wilson and Jefferson, and Garrett Wilson's been better this year is all I'm saying.
In my opinion, the next game, Daniel Cuckoo Badake, hopefully I said that correctly.
That's right. Come on.
Versus Thomas.
He said cuckoo. Badake, would you want to tell people how you say it?
Daniel Steven Koku. Badake.
Coco.
By the way, that's African if anyone believes that I'm actually black. So.
Somehow, Daniel Bedocki is an 11-point favorite despite being 0-3. So I'm taking Thomas with the points here easily.
Yeah, I'm taking Bedocki. Law of averages. He's going to get off the schneid, and I think Trigger Trey is going to have a nice game tonight.
You're taking a minus 11?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take points and the money line.
I'll also take Bedocki points and money line here. I think Bedocki takes it.
Bedocki hasn't picked me for any of the pick'ems, so I'm going to go Thomas here. And
I'm going to say Bedocki wins a close one, so I'll take Thomas with the points, but I think Bedocki wins it.
I'll take Bedocki because Thomas won't reply to me ever and trade with me, so I'm mad at him. No one's blue balled me more in my life than Thomas.
I'm going to go Bedocki to win, Thomas to cover.
Next matchup, Nick is 1-2 playing the Ladsters 2-1. However, Nick
disrespectful line
is favored by 15.5 points. So I'm gonna take the Ladster to win and cover because he has the grit, and they're doing it for Lamb this week.
Blake Corum is doing it for Lamb.
Yeah, I mean, Danny's starting freaking Blake Corum, guys. Like,
It's a mess.
I think I was
crazy.
generous with a minus 175 on Nick here. He was a 60-40 favorite in the projections, and honestly, I think he may have even should have been higher. So I'll take Nick to both cover and win here.
I'm going Nick to cover, Nick to win. And,
Wow.
Danny made a coaching staff comment. My coaching staff did better drafting than having to plug Blake Corn in my flex spot. So
I'm gonna go Nick every week to cover and spread.
he's going to spread.
Nick loves the spread.
I'm taking Nick for sure. I mean, we didn't even talk about Wandale.
Since you didn't choose me, I'm actually going to choose you this time. I do think you're going to win.
At this point of the season, as a 1-2 team, I'm doing mental gymnastics every week, and I'm thinking, who do I want to lose? I want Danny to lose, because he would be 3-1 if he won. At this point, I hate watching Mason win, but it makes sense for him to keep winning. That way, I have a better chance to get into the playoffs. So
Well, I'm happy you're on
that's
my
my
side.
reasoning. I'm not on your side. I've created a
admitted
new
that
side.
you were.
You might get to be his prince.
Yeah. I'm gonna knight you. Do we have to talk about Mason +1 versus Sammy, or are we all just taking the lock?
Oh, shit.
Shut up.
The lock of the year.
You're
Mason
insane.
over the fan, +120 money line. This should be -800. I don't know whoever set the lines on this, but
You would say that.
clearly I'm moving to 4-0.
I set the tone because I've never seen resilience like this. You lose James Conner, George Kittle, a bunch of dudes, Mike Evans for a couple of games. You talk about like playing good defense. Sammy's playing with heart. His team has heart. So I'm rolling with Sammy. That's why I set the line the way I did.
What is the line for this one?
-120 for Sammy to win.
Oh gosh. Sammy to win, Sammy to cover. Easy.
Y'all speak with confidence.
The team of destiny is not losing this year.
I'm gonna roll with Sammy for both here.
As the ruler of this league, the king of this league, I'm proposing a rule change. If you have yet to win a game, you're not allowed to speak. Like, can we put Bedocki on mute the rest of this call?
I don't know if we can implement that this week.
And also, you can't mute the black guy. Like,
Yeah, come on, Mason. The optics of that is terrible.
Mason gets power, and he's like, let's mute the black guy.
For that reason, I'm going with the fan. If you look at the matchup, I mean, it's just plus for Sammy everywhere.
All right. So I have this family member that is a little chaotic, and it got to a point where I just started zoning him out. Like he would speak and I just wouldn't hear him anymore. And that's kind of where I am with Mason. I didn't watch last week's video. I don't watch his clips. I've kind of just moved on. However, again, playing mental gymnastics, I need Mason to win at this point.
I am third place currently in the league. I do recognize, obviously, Mason in first place. I will go with Mason because his first loss on the year is going to come to me.
Let's move this over to Mr. Zachary Savage. 7.5-point favorite over Corey Bushlin, who's rolling out Isaiah Pacheco. I'm going to be honest with you, Bush. If you knew what you were doing, you would literally leave the spot empty just for team morale. For that reason, I'm going to take Zach -7.5.
If you got points for rostering crappy tight ends, Corey would probably be a heavy favorite here. I got to go with Zack here. Zack to cover, Zack to win.
Yeah, I'm taking the side without Isaiah Pacheco on it.
I'm gonna go Zach to win, but Bush to cover.
That's what I'm taking too.
I'm choosing Zack because Bush blue balls me a couple times this week. So
Zach to win and Zach to cover because, quite simply, if Zach goes to 1-3, I would be shocked.
All right, Marv, appreciate you coming over here for a special practice session on how to catch. So just so we're clear, I just wanted you to know, so what are these? Hands, okay, that's right. These are called hands. So what these are used for are accepting the gift of a football. When a football is thrown in your direction, you'll take these hands, and what you'll do is you will accept the gift of the pigskin. So let's go outside and let's practice it, okay? Here we go.
All right, the Thursday night game is just about to kick off, and really what I'm hoping for is that Kenneth Walker has an absolute dud game. As long as he doesn't get a touchdown, we should be good.
All right, update. We made it all the way to the fourth quarter, and JSN had done almost nothing, and now he's looking like one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. We almost had him. Almost had him.
Sammy is the luckiest mother effer of all time. Like, are you kidding me? We were this close to ending this game with the Seattle defense with like 16 points. Lucky ass touchdown at the very end, sending it to overtime. We better have another 3 sacks, and we better have a pick 6 to end this.
Post Thursday Night Football, and honestly, I don't know, mixed reactions to the position we're in. Ken Walker, I mean, solid game, 12 points, you know, like a floor game, I would say, 12 PPR points. 12 points is 12 points. I mean, 21 opportunities, you really can't complain, but maybe some meat left on the bone for what it could have been.
All right, the game's over. He did what I wanted him to do, but it wasn't anything spectacular. 8 carries, 35 yards. Going into the weekend with 10 points, down by 8. Do I feel more confident? Absolutely not.
All right, well, JSN ends with 13. It's under his projections. It's his lowest point total of the season. He legit had like 0 until the fourth quarter. So either way, it's still projected to be like a 4-point game right now. It's going to be close, but Sunday's coming.
Practice makes fantasy points.